Okay, let's see if we can clear this stuff around speaking about what you do. Even though it's hard to talk about what I do professionally,
Even though it's hard to talk about what I do professionally.
it's not a typical career.
It's not a typical career.
It's not something that everybody understands.
It's not something that everybody understands.
Everyone's had a doctor or a teacher in their life.
Everyone's had a doctor or teacher in their life.
They know what that looks like,
They know what that looks like,
but not so with me.
but not so with me.
So it's harder to describe.
It's hard to describe it.
And I deeply and completely,
And I deeply and completely,
gently and compassionately
gently and compassionately
love, honor, and accept myself.
love and honor and accept myself.
I love what I do,
I love what I do,
but it's kind of out of the mainstream.
and it's kind of out of the mainstream.
I'm a little bit self conscious,
I'm a little bit self conscious.
afraid people might question what I do,
I'm afraid people might question what I do,
judge me, or mock me.
judge me, or mock me.
And so I avoid the discussion.
So I avoid it,
And I deeply and completely,
and I deeply and completely,
gently and compassionately
gently and compassionately
love, honor, and accept myself.
love, honor, and accept myself.
Even though I can walk into professional circles
Even though I can walk into professional circles
and talk about what I do there,
and talk about what I do there.
as I'm in a crowd of kindred spirits,
I'm sorry, what?
as I am in a crowd of kindred spirits.
As I'm in a crowd of kindred spirits.
But when I'm amongst my friends
But when I'm amongst my friends
or strangers in the street
or strangers in the street
or at some kind of cocktail party,
or at some kind of cocktail party,
I don't even know how to talk about my career.
I don't even know how to talk about my career.
I don't expect them to understand.
I don't expect them to understand.
Many people in the past haven't.
Maybe people in the past haven't.
And it's just hard to describe
It's just hard to describe.
in a light-hearted, fun manner
The lighthearted manner,
or in an interesting manner,
or in an interesting manner,
in a way that would engage them.
in a way that would engage them.
And I deeply and completely,
And I deeply and completely,
gently and compassionately
gently and compassionately
love, honor, and accept myself.
love, honor, and accept myself.
Even though there's a stigma about what I do,
Even though there's a stigma about what I do,
creates doubt in my mind,
breaks doubt in my mind,
and I become self-conscious
and I become self conscious.
and afraid of being judged.
I'm afraid of being judged.
I deeply and completely,
I deeply and completely,
gently and compassionately
gently and compassionately
love, honor, and accept myself.
love, honor, and accept myself.
And all this self-doubt,
All this self doubt.
what I do is kind of creepy.
What I do is kind of creepy.
People just don't get it.
People just don't get it.
They feel offended by it.
They feel offended by it.
They feel threatened by it.
They feel threatened by it.
And so it's hard to talk about it.
So it's hard to talk about it.
I become self-conscious
I become self conscious.
because I don't want them to be concerned.
I don't want them to be concerned.
I just avoid the conversation.
I just avoid the conversation.
But that only perpetuates the stigma.
But that only perpetuates the stigma.
Is how do I help the industry
How do I help the health industry
if I don't normalize what we do?
if I don't normalize what we do?
It's just one of those dynamics.
It's just one of those dynamics.
People are weird about new things.
People, what?
People are weird about new things.
People are weird about new things.
People are weird about things they don't understand.
People are weird about things they don't understand.
It's just hard to describe.
It's just hard to describe.
It makes people uncomfortable.
It makes people uncomfortable.
Oh, is that uncomfortable?
How is that uncomfortable?
Oh, is that awkward?
Oh, is that awkward?
How do I talk about what I do?
How do I talk? I talk about what I do.
I am proud of what I do.
I am proud of what I do.
It's a noble cause.
It's a noble cause.
My clients love me,
My clients love me,
but the average person on the street,
but the average person on the street,
I feel like it freaks them out
I feel like it freaks them out.
and puts them on the hot seat.
It puts them in a hot seat.
That's not my intention,
That's not my intention,
but that's just how it feels.
but that's just how it feels.
I've had one or two people in the past,
I've told people in the past,
and that made them really uncomfortable.
and that made them really uncomfortable.
And that kind of killed the conversation,
And that kind of killed the conversation
killed our friendship.
or the friendship.
And so I'm really self conscious now.
And so I'm really self-conscious now.
I don't want to talk about what I do
I don't like talking about what I do
unless somebody already knows what I do
unless someone already knows what I do
and is approaching me for details.
and is approaching me for details.
So if I have a warm client,
So if I have a warm client,
warm prospect,
warm prospect,
and I know they're interested,
and I know they're interested,
then it's easy to talk about.
then it's easy to talk about.
But someone who knows nothing about me
Someone who knows nothing about me,
and nothing about what I do professionally,
nothing about what I do professionally.
I don't know how to bridge that conversation.
I know how to approach that conversation.
I feel like I can keep them engaged.
I feel like I can keep them engaged.
And so I feel like I'm a little bit of an imposter.
And so I feel like a little bit like an imposter.
How do I tell people what I do?
I don't like to tell people what I do.
I'm learning to clear that self doubt
I'm learning to clear that self-doubt,
and that emotion that's within me
that emotion that's within me.
is double pronged.
It's all upon.
Part of it is my own concern and self doubt,
Part of it is my own concern and self-doubt.
and part of it is my concern about others,
And part of it is my concern about others.
not wanting to make them uncomfortable.
And I don't want to make them uncomfortable.
There's a lot of professions out there
There's a lot of professions out there
that serve a need.
that serve a need.
We don't always want to talk about what it is.
But we don't always want to talk about what it is.
We don't really want to talk to the mortician at a party
We wouldn't want to talk about a mortician at a party.
or some coroner.
It's
It's like, oh, that's kind of creepy.
like, dude, that's kind of creepy.
And there are creepier professions than mine.
And there are creepier professions than mine.
But there's just some things
But there's just some things.
kind of kills the conversation in the room.
It kind of kills the conversation.
Not that the job is bad or wrong,
Not that the job is bad or wrong.
but there's a stigma about it.
There's a stigma about it.
I actually really help people,
I actually really help people.
really make a difference for people.
I really make a difference for people.
My clients love it,
My clients love it.
but not everybody wants to hear about certain professions.
But not everybody wants to talk about other professions.
If I sit there and meet someone who's a private investigator,
If I would tell them that I was a private investigator,
I wonder how much they know about me.
I wonder how much they know about me.
I'm not sure I want to go on a date with a private investigator.
I'm not sure I would want to go on a date with a private investigator.
Probably know more than I want them to know.
Probably know more than I want them to know.
There's other professions that are kind of creepy.
There's other professions that are kind of creepy.
If I go to a party,
I go to a party.
meet someone who does the audits for the tax man,
I'm sorry.
meets the person who does the audits for the tax in the government.
And it's a person that is the audit for the taxman.
He's not someone I particularly want to spend time with.
And that's not someone particular I want to spend time with.
You're someone I don't ever want to meet.
You're someone I don't ever want to meet.
I don't want my taxes audited.
I don't want my taxes audited.
So he's probably self-conscious too
He's probably self-conscious too.
about what he does at work.
Or he doesn't work.
There's just certain stigmas out there.
There's just certain stigmas out there.
I don't want to talk about it.
I don't want to talk about it.
I'm trying to find a way to learn how to talk about it.
I'm trying to find a way to learn how to talk about it.
Where it's powerful,
Words are powerful,
where I can share the benefits of my work
where I can share the benefits of my work
and how it's made a difference,
and show that it's made a difference,
contributed to others.
contributed to others,
Because I do make a difference for people.
because I do make a difference for people.
It's a great thing.
And it's a great thing.
Maybe I can talk less about what I do,
Maybe I can talk less about what I do
more about the outcomes I produce.
and more about the outcomes I produce.
Because if people understood the outcomes,
Because if people understood the outcomes,
they might be more excited to hear about what I do.
they may be more excited to hear about what I do.
I'm giving myself more permission
And maybe there's permission
to talk less about what I do
to talk less about what I do
and talk about my outcomes.
and talk about my outcomes.
People don't really care what I do,
People don't really care what I do.
even though that's the question they ask.
But that's a question they ask.
But in this cultural conversation,
But in this cultural conversation,
we're really interested in
what they're really interested in
is how I contribute to others.
is how I contribute to others.
And that's the unspoken question.
That's the unspoken question.
How do I make a difference in people's lives?
How do I make a difference in people's lives?
How do I bring meaning to people's lives?
How do I bring meaning to people's lives?
How do I support people through their challenges and problems?
How do I support people through their challenges and problems?
How do I provide them with what they need
How do I provide them with what they need
and fulfill on their goals?
to find their goals?
Because I can do that.
I can do that
Not my clients.
with my clients.
I'm doing well.
I'm doing well.
I'm becoming more confident
I'm becoming more confident,
talking about what I do,
talking about what I do,
how I do it,
how I do it,
outcomes that I provide for my clients.
the outcomes that I provide for my clients.
Feeling better about myself,
I'm feeling better about myself,
feeling better about what I do.
feeling better about what I do.
I recognize now
And I recognize now
if somebody's uncomfortable
some people are uncomfortable
or wanting to mock what I do,
or wanting to mock what I do.
that's on them.
That's on them.
It has nothing to do with me.
It has nothing to do with me.
I know that I'm a powerhouse
I know that I am a powerhouse,
and what I do brings value.
and then what I do brings value.
So I'm sorry if they're uncomfortable.
I'm sorry if they're uncomfortable.
They choose to honor me.
I choose to honor me,
Honor my clients,
to honor my clients,
celebrating their outcomes,
celebrate their outcomes,
sharing their outcomes with others,
and sharing their outcomes with others,
because that's a good thing.
because that's a good thing.
I know I make a difference.
I know I make a difference.
I contribute to others in
I
positive.
contribute to others.
And so I'm going to celebrate that
And so I'm going to celebrate that
and share those outcomes with my clients,
and share those outcomes with my clients,
outcomes with my friends,
share those outcomes with my friends
and with my family,
and with my family
and with others that I meet on the street,
and with others I meet on the street,
because I can celebrate what I do.
because I can celebrate what I do.
I'm proud of what I do,
I'm proud of what I do.
proud of the outcomes I get from my clients.
I love the outcomes I get with my clients.
Safer and safer
It makes them safer.
to describe who I am
Describe who I am,
and what I'm about.
what I'm about.
Because all is well in my world.
Because everything always well in my world,
I'm taking pride in who I am.
and I'm taking pride in who I am.
Take a breath.